Osha was only 13 years old when the bad men came to her village. Her home was deep in the forest of West Africa. It was a happy place. People grew food, sang songs, and told stories by the fire at night. Osha loved to listen to her father tell stories about brave women and strong men. But one night, under the full moon, loud noises woke Osha up. People were screaming. Houses were burning. Men on horses ran through the village with swords and ropes. Osha jumped out of bed. Her mother grabbed her hand. "Run, Osha. Hide in the forest," her mother said. But it was too late. A big man with mean eyes caught Osha. He pulled her away from her mother's arms. That was the last time she saw her family. The man tied Osha's hands with rope. He put her with many other people from her village. Old people, young people, children like her. They were all crying and scared. "Move," the man shouted. "Walk or we will make you walk." They walked for many days. Osha's feet hurt. Her back hurt. She was very hungry and thirsty. The men gave them only a little water and old bread to eat. If someone fell down, the men hit them with sticks to make them get up. Osha tried not to cry. She tried to be brave like the women in her father's stories. At night, when they stopped to rest, Osha would whisper to herself, "I am Osha. I must not forget who I am." She said this over and over so she would never forget her real name. After many days of walking, they came to the ocean. Osha had never seen so much water before. It went on and on, as far as she could see. But the ocean did not make her happy. It made her afraid. There was a big, black ship waiting in the water. The ship looked like a monster. The bad men put Osha and all the other people on the ship. Inside the ship, it was very dark. There was not much air to breathe. Too many people were put in one small place. People cried all day and all night. Some people prayed to God. Some people got sick and died. Osha was scared she would die too. But she kept saying her name, "I am Osha. I am Osha. I must not forget." The ship moved on the water for many weeks. Osha lost count of how many days. She just wanted it to stop. Sometimes she dreamed about her mother and father. Sometimes she dreamed about running in the forest near her home. But when she woke up, she was still on the dark ship. When the ship finally stopped, they were in a place Osha had never seen before. The land looked different. The people looked different. They spoke words Osha did not know. Men came to look at Osha and the others. They touched their arms and legs like they were animals, not people. Then a man with cold, mean eyes pointed at Osha. "I want that one," he said. Osha did not understand his words, but she understood that he now owned her. Like she was a thing, not a person. He took her to his big house. He had many people working for him. They all looked sad and scared. The man called Osha a new name, Anna. But inside her heart, Osha kept her real name safe. "I am Osha," she would whisper when no one could hear. For many years, Osha worked in the man's house. She cleaned floors. She carried heavy things. She worked from when the sun came up until after it went down. The man was mean to her. If she did something wrong, he would hit her. If she looked sad, he would shout at her. "You are Anna now," he would say. "Forget your old life. This is your life now." But Osha never forgot. At night, she would think about her mother and father. She would remember the songs from her village. She would say her real name quietly, Osha. Slowly, she learned to speak the new language. She listened to the man and his family talk. She learned new words every day. One day, when Osha was older, she heard the man talking to his wife. "Anna is getting too old for housework," he said. "I will send her to work in the fields." Osha knew what this meant. People who worked in the fields got very sick. Many of them died from working too hard in the hot sun. That night, Osha made a big decision. She would run away. She waited until everyone in the house was sleeping. Then she took off her shoes and walked very quietly to the door. She opened it slowly so it would not make noise. The night was dark, but she could see the stars. They were the same stars her father had shown her when she was little. Follow the stars, she remembered him saying. They will always show you the way home. Osha started walking. For many days, Osha walked through forests and fields. She only walked at night when it was dark. During the day, she would hide in trees or empty houses so no one would see her. She ate wild fruits and berries. She drank water from rivers and streams. Sometimes she heard dogs barking far away. She knew the man with cold eyes was looking for her. But she kept walking. One day, she was hiding in an old barn when she met a kind woman. The woman had gray hair and gentle eyes. When she saw Osha, she did not look angry or scared. You look hungry, child, the woman said. Come. I will give you food. The woman gave Osha bread and soup. She gave her clean water to drink and a soft place to sleep. You have eyes that remember home, the woman said. That is good. Never forget where you come from. Osha stayed with the kind woman for many months. The woman taught her how to read words in books. She taught her how to sew clothes and how to write letters. For the first time in many years, Osha felt happy. She even laughed sometimes. The woman also brought other people to the house. People who had run away like Osha. People who helped runaway slaves hide and find safe places to live. Some of these people spoke Osha's language from home. When Osha heard her language again, she cried with joy. We are family now, they told her. We take care of each other. But one day, everything changed again. Osha was sweeping outside when she saw something on a tree. It was a paper with a picture on it. The picture was of her face. Older than when she was 13, but still her. Under the picture, words said, Reward, Missing Slave Girl, answers to the name Anna. The man with cold eyes was still looking for her. And he was offering money to anyone who would bring her back. Osha's hands started shaking. Her heart beat very fast. The kind woman saw the paper too. You have two choices, child, she said. You can run far away to the north where you will be safe. Or you can stay and fight. Osha looked at the paper again. Then she looked up at the sky. The same stars her father had shown her were still there. I will not run, she said. Then what will you do? The woman asked. Osha's voice was quiet but strong. I will make sure no other girl has to go through what I went through. I will help others be free. The woman smiled. Then you are ready to join the fight. That night, Osha sat by the fire with the kind woman. There are people who help slaves escape, the woman said. They call themselves the Pathfinders. They are brave people who risk their lives to help others. I want to help too, Osha said. The woman nodded. It will be dangerous. The man who warned you will not stop looking. And there are others like him. Osha thought about all the people still trapped like she had been. She thought about children being taken from their families like she was. I am not afraid, she said. I was a scared little girl once. But I am not little anymore. She stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the forest was dark and quiet. My name is Osha, she said out loud for the first time in years. And I am going to fight for freedom. The woman came and stood beside her. Then tomorrow, we begin your training. Osha nodded. She was ready to become more than just a runaway slave. She was ready to become a freedom fighter. The next morning, Osha woke up before the sun came up. She wrapped a scarf around her head and put some food in a small bag. She did not tell anyone where she was going. The less people who knew, the safer they would be. The kind woman gave her a piece of paper with directions written on it. "Follow this path to the town," she said. "Look for the small church with the blue door. Inside, you will find people who can help you help others." Osha walked through the forest until she came to a small town. She found the church with the blue door, just like the woman had said. Inside, the church was quiet and dark. But Osha could hear people whispering. A man with kind eyes came to her. "Are you looking for the pathfinders?" he asked quietly. Osha nodded. A man with kind eyes came to her. "Are you looking for the pathfinders?" he asked quietly. Osha nodded. "I want to help people escape slavery." The man smiled. "Come with me." He took her to a back room where 5 people sat around a table. They all looked strong and brave. Some had scars on their faces and arms. "This is Osha," the man said. "She wants to join us." A woman with burn marks on her arms looked at Osha closely. "Why do you want to do this?" she asked. "It is very dangerous work." "Because I was a slave too," Osha said. "And I know there are others who need help to be free." The pathfinders said yes. Osha could join them. But first, she had to learn many new things. They taught her how to write messages in secret code. If someone found the message, they would not understand what it really said. They taught her how to use lights to send signals to other pathfinders far away. 1 flash meant safe. 2 flashes meant danger. They taught her how to walk very quietly so no one would hear her. How to hide in shadows so no one would see her. They also taught her how to fight with knives and sticks if she had to protect herself or others. Every day, Osha got stronger and smarter. "You learn fast," said Marcus, one of the pathfinders. "You will make a good freedom fighter." Osha was proud. She was not just running away anymore. She was learning to help others run to freedom too. One night, a pathfinder named David came back from a mission. He looked very sad and angry. "What happened?" asked the woman with burn marks. "The slave catchers are getting worse," David said. "They caught another runaway girl in the next town. She was only 14 years old." Osha felt sick to her stomach. "What happened to her?" David shook his head. "No one has seen her since. They probably sold her to someone far away." Then David looked at Osha. "And there is more bad news. The man who used to own you is looking for you. He has lots of money and many men working for him. He has a list with names of people who help runaways." Osha felt scared, but also angry. "How do you know this?" "We have friends who work for bad people. They tell us things in secret. Your old owner is getting closer." The woman with burn marks stood up. "Osha, we can help you escape to the north tonight. You will be safe there." But Osha shook her head. "No. I will not run anymore." "Then what will you do?" Marcus asked. Osha looked at all of them. "I will face him. And I will stop him from hurting anyone else." That night, Osha went to an old barn outside of town. This was where she would wait for the man with cold eyes. She carried a small knife and a lamp. Outside, the wind blew through the trees. Somewhere in the dark, her enemy was coming. She lit the lamp and said quietly, "Let him come. I am ready." Then she heard a small sound. A stick breaking under someone's foot. Osha stopped moving. Her heart beat very fast. A shadow moved between the trees. Then a voice called out. But it did not say Anna. It said her real name. "Osha." She stepped back. The voice sounded like a man, but it was soft and careful. Not angry like she thought it would be. "Who are you?" she called out, holding her knife ready. The barn door opened slowly. A man stepped into the light. Osha looked at his face. Something about him looked familiar. The man put his hands up to show he was not holding any weapons. "Do not be afraid," he said. "I am not here to hurt you." "Who are you?" Osha asked again. The man stepped closer to the light. His face was older and his hair was longer than she remembered. But his eyes. She had seen those eyes before. Osha's hand began to shake. "Oba," she whispered. The man smiled. "Yes, little sister. It is me." For a long moment, Osha could not speak. She just stared at him. "You were taken too," she finally said, her voice shaking. "I was," Oba said. "But I escaped many years ago. I have been looking for you ever since." Tears came to Osha's eyes. "I thought you were dead. I thought I was the only one left from our family." "You are not alone," Oba said, stepping closer. "But we do not have much time to talk." Before Osha could ask what he meant, they heard a sound in the distance. Horses running fast. Getting closer. Oba looked toward the forest. "They are coming." "He is coming." "The man with the cold eyes?" Osha asked. Oba nodded. "Yes. And he brought many men with him. He knows you are here." Osha felt the old fear come back. But this time, she was not a scared little girl. She had learned to fight. She had weapons. And now she had her brother with her. "What do we do?" she asked. "We do not run," Oba said. "Not this time. We fight." Osha looked at the lamp burning beside her. She reached into her bag and pulled out a special torch that the Pathfinders had given her. If she lit it, other Pathfinders would see the signal and come to help. She showed it to Oba. "Then let us begin," she said. But just as they were about to light the signal, someone knocked on the back door of the barn. Not a normal knock. A loud, slow banging. Bang. 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 Oba's face changed. He looked worried. "That is not one of our friends," he said quietly. Osha held her knife tighter. The banging came again. Bang. 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 Then everything became quiet. Something slid under the door. A piece of paper. Oba picked it up and read it. His face became very pale. "What does it say?" Osha asked. Oba looked up at her. "It has your full name on it," he said. "Your real full name. And something that only you and our mother knew." Osha felt her blood turn cold. No one else was supposed to know those things. Then a voice whispered through the door. A voice she remembered from her nightmares. "I never forget my property." The whisper made Osha's skin crawl. "I never forget my property." Oba's jaw became tight with anger. Osha looked at the paper in his hand. It was dirty, but she could read the words clearly. It said, Oshan Kemdelai, daughter of Ada, granddaughter of Onika. Under that, in smaller letters, "Come outside quietly, and no one will get hurt." Osha shook her head. "How does he know that name?" "Only Mama called me by my full name." "I do not know," Oba said. "But this means he knows more about us than we thought." They moved away from the door. "Maybe someone told him our secrets," Osha whispered. "Someone who knew our family." Oba did not answer. He was looking around the room for anything they could use to fight. "There is no time to think about that now," he said. "We need to get out of here." But then they heard a new sound from outside. A child crying. Osha stopped moving. That sound cut through her heart like a knife. "Help me," came a small voice. She ran to the window and looked outside. In the clearing near the trees, there was a little girl. She had no shoes. She was crying. "Is she real?" Osha asked. "Or is this a trick?" Oba did not move. His face looked hard and angry. He has done this before, Oba said. He uses children to make people come outside. Osha's hands made fists. We cannot leave her out there. Oba grabbed her arm. That is exactly what he wants you to think. But Osha was already moving toward the door. Osha opened the barn door just enough to slip outside. She stayed low and moved through the shadows. The little girl was only a few steps away now. She stood under the moonlight with tears on her face. Osha reached her. Are you okay? Are you alone? The girl did not say anything. Osha got closer. Then she saw something that made her heart stop. There was a mark on the child's arm. A brand, like they put on animals to show who owns them. Before Osha could do anything, she felt a sharp pain in her neck. She tried to speak, but no words came out. Her eyes became blurry. She could not see clearly. She turned around just enough to see a man standing in the trees. Cold eyes. A smile like ice. I told you, he said. I never forget. Back in the barn, Oba waited. 5 minutes passed. Then 10 minutes. He picked up his knife and went outside. The little girl was gone. And so was Osha. Oba looked everywhere for Osha. He called her name quietly. But there was no answer. He saw marks in the dirt where someone had been dragged away. His sister was gone. Oba felt angry and sad at the same time. He had found Osha after so many years, and now he had lost her again. But he would not give up. He followed the marks in the dirt. They led to a path through the forest. Oba knew he could not fight all of the man's soldiers by himself. He needed help. He ran back toward town as fast as he could. He had to find the pathfinders. He had to tell them that Osha had been taken. And he had to make a plan to get her back. By the time Oba reached the town, the sun was starting to come up. He found Marcus and the other pathfinders at the church. They took her, he said, breathing hard from running. The slave catchers took Osha. Marcus stood up quickly. How many men did they have? Too many for us to fight, Oba said. But I followed them. I know where they went. The woman with burn marks put her hand on Oba's shoulder. We will get her back, she said. Osha is family now. We do not leave family behind. Marcus nodded. But we need to be smart about this. If we go in without a plan, we will all be caught or killed. Oba looked at all of them. These people had become Osha's new family. They cared about her like he did. What do we do? He asked. We watch and we wait, said the woman. We learn where they are keeping her. Then we make our move. And if something happens to her while we wait? Oba asked. Marcus looked him in the eyes. Your sister is strong. She has been through worse things and survived. She will survive this too. Oba hoped Marcus was right. But deep in his heart, he was scared that this time, the man with cold eyes would make sure Osha never escaped again. I am coming for you, little sister, he whispered to himself. He whispered to himself. I promise. Osha woke up with her head hurting badly. Everything was dark. Her arms were tied with rope. She tried to move, but her body felt weak from whatever they had put in her neck. The room smelled like old dirt and rusty metal. She could hear chains moving somewhere near her, but they were not her chains. Someone else was in the room with her. Then a match was lit. A small flame danced in the darkness. She saw him. The man with cold eyes. He looked almost the same as when she was 13. His face still had that mean, calm look. The kind of face that could smile while hurting people. Did you think you could run away forever? He said. Osha stared at him. Even though she was scared, she would not let him see it. I did not run, she said. I grew strong. His smile got a little angry. Still talking back, I see. But fire can be put out very easily. He turned away from her and talked like she could not hear him. You used to be useful. Strong. You did what I told you to do. But then you had to get smart. I was never yours, Osha said. He turned around fast and hit the wall with his hand. The chains in the corner jumped. Someone made a small, scared sound. You see, he said in a cold voice, this is not about you anymore. You made other slaves want to fight back. You made them want to run away. You made them dream about being free. That is your real crime. Osha looked around the room. The walls were made of stone. There was only one wooden door and no windows. A lamp hung from the ceiling on a rope. In the corner, she saw who was making the scared sounds. It was the little girl. The one who had been used to trick her. The girl was chained to the wall. Her knees were pulled up to her chest and she looked very afraid. Osha spoke to her quietly. You do not belong here. I will get you out. The girl looked up. Her eyes were full of fear, but also a little bit of hope. Just then, they heard footsteps outside the door. Someone was talking in a low voice. The man with cold eyes walked to the door. I will be back soon, he said to Osha. Think about whether you want to make this easy or hard. He left and locked the door behind him. As soon as he was gone, Osha started walking. She rolled onto her side and felt the knots that held her hands. They were tight, but not impossible to untie. She whispered to herself like she used to do, I am Osha. I must not forget who I am. Her fingers worked on the rope. Every second felt like a fight. The little girl watched her. What are you doing? Getting us out of here, Osha said. After many minutes of walking, the knot came loose. Her hands were free. The little girl made a small, happy sound. Osha crawled over to her and started working on her chains. We do not have much time. But what if he comes back? The girl asked. Then we will be gone before he does. Just as Osha got the last chain off the girl, the door opened. Osha pushed the girl behind her and got ready to fight. But it was not the man with cold eyes. It was Oba. Oba's face was hurt and his shirt was torn, but he stood strong in the doorway. I followed the wagon that brought you here, he said quickly. We have to go now. Suddenly, a voice shouted from upstairs. He is not alone. It was a trap. Heavy boots ran across the floor above them. Doors slammed shut. More voices shouted. More men were coming. Oba threw a knife to Osha. Take the girl and run, he said. I will stop them. No. Osha cried. But Oba was already moving. He ran back into the hall, shouting loudly to get the men's attention. The little girl grabbed Osha's hand. We have to go, she said. Osha did not want to leave her brother. But she knew he was trying to save them. She nodded, even though her heart was breaking. They ran to the back of the room. There, Osha found a narrow tunnel that she had not seen before. The tunnel was tight and cold. Osha held the girl's hand as they moved as fast as they could. The walls were wet and the floor was bumpy. Behind them, they could hear Oba's voice. He was yelling in their language from home, trying to confuse the men chasing them. Then everything became quiet. Too quiet. Keep going, Osha whispered to the girl. They reached the end of the tunnel. Above them was a wooden door. Osha pushed it open slowly. It led into a forest. The trees were thick and dark, and it was still night. They climbed out and started running. For many hours, they did not stop. The little girl was small, but she was strong. She did not cry or complain. She just ran with Osha. When they finally reached a small river, Osha fell to her knees. She was so tired she could barely breathe. Drink some water, she told the girl. They both drank from the river and lay in the grass to rest. Osha looked up at the stars. The same stars her father had shown her long ago. But now Oba was gone. She did not know if he was alive or if the men had caught him. She remembered what he had said, "I will stop them." That was the kind of person he was. Brave and kind, just like their mother always said he would be. Osha knew she could not stay by the river. She had to keep moving. She had to get the little girl to safety. But she also could not stop thinking about Oba. "We need to find the pathfinders," she told the girl. The girl looked up. "Who are the pathfinders?" "People who do not run away from fights. People who help others become free. They walk through the forest, staying hidden and watching for danger. When the sun started to go down, they found an old shed." Osha remembered this place. The pathfinders had used it before as a safe house. She went to the door and knocked in a special way. Tap tap. Pause. Tap. The door opened a little bit. A young man stood there. He was not much older than Osha. His eyes got wide when he saw her. "Osha, we thought you were dead." She shook her head. "I need a place to stay. And help." The young man let them in. "Come inside. The others will want to know you are okay." Inside the shed, 4 other pathfinders sat around a small fire. They looked young and tired, but ready to fight. Osha told them everything. How she was caught, how Oba saved her, and how he stayed behind to fight the men. The room became very quiet. "He saved you?" one of them asked. "Yes," Osha said. Another pathfinder stood up. "Then we owe him. We do not leave our people behind." Osha looked around the room. Her hands were shaking a little. "I want to go back and get him," she said. Some of the others looked doubtful. Some looked scared. But a girl with scars on her face stood up. "Then we will help you." Osha felt a little better. She turned to the little girl who had escaped with her. "You will stay here. You will be safe now." The little girl held her hand tight. "What if the bad man finds me again?" Osha got down on her knees so she could look into the girl's eyes. "He will not find you. Because this time, I am going to stop him." Later that night, Osha stood with a small group of pathfinders on top of a hill. In the distance, they could see smoke rising into the sky. It was coming from the place where she had been held prisoner. One of the pathfinders said quietly, "We do not know what is waiting for us there." Osha looked at the smoke. "Then we will go into the danger and find out." The smoke rose thick and black into the night sky. Osha stood at the edge of the forest with 4 pathfinders beside her. Each person carried a weapon. No one talked. They did not need to. Tonight, they were going into enemy territory. Not to hide. Not to run away. But to save someone. If he was alive. Osha wrapped a cloth around her face and said quietly, "Let's go." They moved through the forest like shadows. They stepped carefully over branches and bent low under trees. One pathfinder named Kwame carried a bag of fire powder. It was something dangerous that they would only use if things went very wrong. A girl named Nia watched behind them to make sure no one was following. She had escaped from the same man who now held Oba. Her eyes were always watching for danger. When they got close to the burned building, the smoke made their eyes water. The place was quiet. Too quiet. They found the entrance that Osha had used before. Now it was blocked with new wooden boards. Kwame whispered, "I will open it." Very quietly. It took several minutes, but they got inside. The cellar was burned in some places, but other parts were not touched. They could see footprints in the dirt. Tools on the ground. Marks where someone had been dragged. Osha saw something that made her heart jump. A piece of torn cloth. It was from Oba's shirt. He was here, she whispered. They moved deeper into the building. Suddenly, Nia raised her hand to tell everyone to stop. I hear voices. Everyone became very still. From behind a thick door, they could hear muffled sounds. Someone was shouting. Someone else was making sounds of pain. Osha listened closely. Her heart was beating so loud she was afraid others would hear it. It was Oba's voice. Osha looked at the others. I am going in there. Kwame pulled her back. Wait. We do not know how many men are inside. We need to think first. But Osha had already made up her mind. She took a deep breath and then kicked the door as hard as she could. The door crashed open. Inside, Oba was hanging from the wall. His arms were chained up and his face was bruised. But he was alive. A man turned around quickly when he heard the noise. But it was not the man with cold eyes. This was someone else. A younger man who was dressed like a guard. But his face looked familiar somehow. Oba looked up and said weakly, Do not hurt him. Osha stopped moving. What? The man stared at her, then slowly put down his weapon. I am not here to stop you, he said. I was trying to help him. Osha kept her knife ready. Who are you? The man stepped into the light so she could see him better.